Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look!
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Stand clear.
All right, everyone, welcome back. It's a fine edition of Dr. Homebrew. Even though it hasn't started yet, I'm going to make that prediction. It's a fine episode.
I heard it was going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. Lee, what do you think? It's going to be fine, right?
Lee is not going to be fine.
It's going to be great.
Lee's
awesome.
dying, everybody.
It's going to be good. I'm not dying.
Well,
we're all dying, actually.
I'm just slightly decrepit.
Some faster than others.
Yeah. Just on a downhill slope. That's all right. Man, we're still drinking. Well, I'm still drinking this Lecoq, what is it called? Imperial extra foreign
double stout from London.
I feel like doing like a sake bomb because I have an oatmeal stout from Faction here. And then this thing, I feel like just dropping it in and pounding it real hard. It's I don't know. It's not beer. It's liqueur. It's insane.
It is, yeah.
Almost. Stout liqueur.
We're still
weird.
talking about that from
Brett
2 weeks
liqueur.
ago. Man, that's still
all,
drinking it.
Hey, this is a beer that lasts. It sticks to your ribs.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not a chugger. You got to drink this slow.
Wow, it's like a cassis in there too. It's very bizarre.
I think somebody paid you to say that word.
Cassis or bizarre?
Yeah. No, bizarre. We're not worried about.
Oh, okay.
Cassis.
I'll say it again, man. I've never had a beer like this. I've never had a beer like this in my entire life.
It?
I don't know. It's very acrid and yeah, I don't know.
But
Bev,
you can't put it down.
Can I see that for a second? Right. Mm-hmm. Bev, where's the camera? Is it on me? Studio, put it on this thing, would you please? I want to show the cuck. Albert Lecoq. There we go. It's very ancient looking in its, label thing or whatever. Yeah. Bev did it. Bev's applauding herself. Why? Because no one else will. All right, we have a pretty cool episode here of Dr. Homebrew, but before we get started, of course, I want to thank our fine sponsor, 5 Star Chemicals. Go to 5starchemicals.com. Find out everything you need to know about how to properly clean and sanitize your brewing equipment. You need to do this in multiple steps. There's no non-multiple step cleaner that will do as good of a job as 5 Star. So if you want to be a proper home brewer and you want to brew some really killer beers like we drink here on the show, and that win awards, your fellow homebrewers who are winning awards, they're using 5 Star. You know they are. That's what everybody uses. So check it out. Stop using iodine unless it's IO Star. And use some PBW, man. Use some Star Sand. Use some Sandy Clean.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff, man. I use that for cleaning my pots and pans as PBW. Use it for cleaning
glassware,
blood off of my porch, like fake blood. I use it work into a paste. It's so good, man. That stuff just cleans anything.
You clean out your dishwasher, all kinds of things. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's all I do. I just sit and clean out my. Oh wait, I don't have a dishwasher. I'm so dumb. But I do have to clean my oven soon. I'll use some PBW on it. It'll be great. Anyway, check them out. 5starchemicals.com. Okay, we're talking with Chris today after the break. We're going to take a little break, of course. But Chris is a unique customer in that he sent us 2 beers. They're the same batch, the same wort, but one is with a traditional Bock, and the other is with a wild, what did he call it?
Traditional Bock yeast.
Wild
yeast he cultured off a peach tree in his backyard. Was that it?
That's exactly it. Wild cot yeast, he says.
Wait, what yeast?
Cot.
C-O-T.
No.
Cot.
Yeah, like he captured it with his,
with his bare hands.
Right.
He wrestled it to the ground.
Right.
He had Jim trank it while he talked from the truck.
It was interesting because, on the bottles, he writes like, "Oh, this is my wild caught yeast." I'm like, I've caught a wild yeast or two in my day brewing, dude. Don't fucking pull that shit on me. But apparently he, and I can't wait to get the story from.
You're brewing?
This is years ago when I did that sort of thing. I just let trained professionals do it now. But apparently, wild-caught yeast from a peach tree. So either he just brought the bucket underneath his peach tree, shook it a bit, and left it overnight, or he actually did it on purpose. So I can't wait to figure this out, man, and solve this riddle. So it's kind of a rare time that we get to try the same batch with different yeasts, especially something like this. And it's a Rauchbier. It's not just some old malt. It's Rauch. Right.
It's not some pale ale.
No, right.
IPA.
It's not some weird, but it's I don't know. And then I want to figure out why he made a Rauchbier with a wild yeast. How would that? God, that would be just weird. I can't wait to try it. I haven't tried it yet.
Your day will come.
Sooner
than you think. Yes. Well, probably not sooner than you think. You pretty much know when we're going to open this.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, man.
Not until we talk about the non-wild version, though.
Yes, so we're going to do the non-wild version.
We do the tame beer first.
That's all we do. We're tame people here.
I didn't say that.
Oh, well, that's true. Well, you're sick. You're ill. You're falling elderly, so I feel like we can't party. Usually we go to venues and do shots, and it's just a wild time after the show. But
I'm fine. I'm noisy, but I'm here.
You're doing all right.
Don't slow down on my account.
You're doing all right. We would never do that to you. Before we move on, I want to tell you about a new book from the Brewers Association, however. It's called The Guide to Starting Your Own Brewery. And if you've ever been interested in starting your own brewery, this is the book for you. It's authored by industry veteran Dick Cantwell of Elysian Brewing, which he's been in the industry for God knows how long, for years, making all kinds of good beers.
At least the 80s and probably farther back than that.
Yeah, absolutely. It covers ingredients, financing, business plans, quality assurance, distribution, wastewater, sustainability practices, and more for any prospective brew pub and packaging brewery owner, which is probably you, dear listener.
Right, and believe me, you need to read the wastewater chapter if you're going to do this.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that the book talks about that you don't really think about when you go, you know what I'm going to do is open a brewery.
Yeah, you're thinking about your hop contracts, and the wastewater is going to shut you down if you don't do it right.
Yeah, exactly. Sam Calgione from Dogfish Head, everyone's favorite, East Coast brewery. This is what he has to say about the book. I am certain any aspiring commercial brewery in the planning phase or small brewery looking to grow will find useful lessons in every chapter Dick has written. The book is written from a true brewer's perspective. Now, if you can't take the word of Sam Calgione, whose word can you take?
And he wrote a book, brewing a business, so he's,
You would think
he's like talking about the competition here, and he's praising it, so that's a good sign.
So check it out, everybody. Guide to Starting a Brewery from the Brewers Association. It will definitely help you out, help you achieve your dreams, your dreams. All right, we're going to take a break here, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to Chris, who has this Bock, this Rauchbier,
which actually isn't even a Bock.
It's not even a Bock. Why keep calling it a Bock? Because he's Bock yeast.
It's a Bock yeast.
What do I know?
Bock yeast without being a Bock.
Well, trust me.
Bock, not Bock.
I'm going to chew him out for this because it's confusing to me. I don't understand.
We'll have it on tape.
Thank you very much. Okay,
Awesome.
Dr. Home, everyone, back after this.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your
skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
Oh, no, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's the pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water-resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo-Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wish I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Kings.
Now serving patient number 189. Number 189 to the counter, please.
Now back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We have Chris on the line here. Chris, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah, thanks for staying up late and hanging out with the handsome young men from Dr. Homebrew and Brian.
Hey, no problem. I'm not doing anything special.
Hey, are you at least drinking your own beer?
Not actually right now. Almost all my beer is gone. I need to brew up some more.
Well, we have some, so we'll send you some.
We have all of his beer here.
Yeah.
Got like 6 bottles of it.
Indeed.
All right, man. Well, first, thanks for sending this along. And so you are our focal point for the entire hour.
Yay!
How's that feel? You're getting a lot of attention.
Yay! I love it. It's great.
I hope he doesn't fall asleep while he's talking to us.
Me too.
No, I don't think so.
We'll keep him away.
Yeah, we'll scream real loud every now and then. How long have you been homebrewing, Chris?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
But it'll be 2 years in May. So
2 years in May. Okay, and this is a lager, right?
Indeed, it is.
Okay. Because when I was brewing, after 2 years, there was no way I was thinking about brewing a lager. That'd be crazy talk in my world. But you did it.
Yeah.
You went out and did it.
I did, indeed.
Are lagers kind of your thing?
Oh, no, this is my first lager, too. I don't know. It was just didn't want to make one. So I finally got a fridge, so I figured why not.
And you like smoke beers? So this is
yes, I do. A lot, yeah.
Is this your first smoke recipe or just your first smoke lager?
Just my first smoke lager. My first smoke recipe, I home smoked some home malted wheat on some pecan chips and made a Weizenbach.
Jesus.
But,
You're like a do-it-yourself guy. Did you build your own house, too?
No, I'm not that kind of do-it-yourself, unfortunately.
Because building a house doesn't get you drunk.
That's right.
Right. Okay. All right, well, we're going to jump into your beer then. Not literally, but figuratively. Brian, you want to start off with this Rauchbier?
Yeah, we judged it as a 22A, a classic Rauchbier, although they did have that specialty element of having been fermented with a traditional Bock yeast.
That aroma is amazing.
Has like right up front, a medium high, pleasant, clean, bacony kind of smokiness going on with a real nice presentation. Underneath, it's got this subtle toasty malt and bread-like notes under that. Some like kind of Munich-y aromas.
Yeah.
No esters, clean lager profile there. Hops were not discernible under the smoke and the malt in the aroma, at least. That a hint of a light little, maybe a spicy background note from something, but yeah, no DMS or diacetyl, clean beer. Color-wise, it's brilliantly clear. It has this kind of orangey golden color.
Yeah,
with a fine white head that rings the glass, but there wasn't too much head that faded fairly quickly. But you can rouse it up, swirling the glass a little bit. And the flavor, it had, again, a nice bacon-like smokiness, very prominent, but not overpowering. You can still find all the elements of the toast and the bread crust underneath that of the malt that you're looking for. And some people may not know the style, the classic style of a classic Rauchbier is a Märzen. So you're looking for that kind of Märzen character underneath the smoke and in balance with the smoke. So I did find enough elements of it that said, hey, this is a lager. This is a nice, a Munich-y kind of beer that it did have that Märzen-like quality under that. It's not a dark, rich, robust Märzen. It's like kind of on the lighter side for Märzen.
But that's good for Märzen.
And that works well with the smoke because it's refreshing and you get the smoke and it's not too much,
Yeah, I was not prepared for the amount of smoke that came through. It was very pleasant. I really enjoy smoked beers.
Yeah. But it's not like the strongest one of these I've come across by a long shot.
No, not at all.
It's just very nice balance.
But yeah, with the lighter body, it carries through the smoke. You don't get a giant punch in the face or like that kind of sweetness where it coats your lips even, where it's like it's too much.
Right.
This is very good. It's very clear, too.
The smoke stays all the way through into the aftertaste, but it never becomes overpowering. You just kind of... And it finishes medium dry. I didn't get any real hot flavors in there, and the bitterness is low and out of the way, as it pretty much should be with this. Body-wise, I thought it was medium-bodied. That's maybe a slight astringency, possibly from the smoke. I'm not sure. It had a little bit of... just a little tingle in there, kind of little puckeriness, but not harsh or biting or in any way. There's no obvious warmth. The carbonation is kind of medium to medium low, and it has this kind of a leathery feeling a little bit on the tongue. It has a little bit of attack with the smoke there, but not harsh really. Very nice
smoked beer with leather. That
pleasant drinking Rauchbier. A pretty bold smoke presence, but just enough room for the somewhat restrained malt underneath that to come through. So I would maybe like just a little bit more of the Munich-y bread crust like malt coming through, but you could even stand it back off the smoke a little touch. But if you like that smoke level where it is, it's nicely in balance with everything else that's there. So you can leave it right there. That's fine too. You want to find a way to maybe get some more kind of medium chain proteins in there to increase your head retention. This beer should have a good lasting fluffy head there, and it should stick around. This does fade pretty quickly, so, I don't know. I mean, most of today's malts are pretty well modified and should have enough proteins in them to give you a decent head. So if you're doing some lower temperature rests, so you might want to get rid of those on the mash side, but if you're just doing a regular, regular mash, it's. I guess you could always add some. The trick is always add some wheat, but I don't really want to tell you add some wheat to this beer because that might throw it off a little bit. You don't need wheat in a classic Rauchbier. So, play around with it and try to get some a little more head in that beer, and it would bring the appearance score up by a point. So then you'd be at a 38 instead of a 37 with me, at least. So, but nice beer, very tasty stuff, nicely balanced, and thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Lee.
Yeah.
You're up, dude.
I am. Excellent. Fabulous. I agree with most of what Brian said. I thought this was a very nicely balanced beer. The base beer is sort of a fairly light, dry, not like totally dry, but no, it's not a very rich beer. It's very much a clean, easy drinking Marzen kind of base beer. The smoke, pardon me, is balanced pretty nicely with that.
Yes.
I think originally I thought it was pretty much spot on balance, and I may still think that, but it might not be good. It might not be bad to rash it back just a bit. And it's not because it's unpleasant. It's just because it is masking over the base malt just perhaps a bit too much, because you've got a fairly light dry beer here. So it'd be nice maybe to let the malt shine through a little more. But that said, I really like the smoke character in this beer. It's very nice. It's very good beer. The other things I found in here, I mean, well balanced, pretty clean, nice smoke character again, nice creaminess, no head whatsoever. I mean, you pour the beer and you get some nice foam, and it just sort of, you can watch the bubbles fade to nothing. So Brian's comments about the head retention are good. Something needs to be done to improve that. I did pick up what I thought was maybe a touch of acetaldehyde in here, sort of an appley flavor.
Okay.
So maybe it needed a little more exposure to yeast or a little more lagering. Although, interestingly, there's no diacetyl, which could also come from the same source. So I'm not sure whether that's really the cause there, but it definitely had a little bit of an appley character to it, which could be fixed, I think. And there was an interesting note I found kind of minty in this beer. It's almost like Northern Brewer hops were used or something like that, which I think didn't really, to my palate, blend very well with the smoke character. But it was kind of a minor flavor. It wasn't that big. So it didn't bother me that much, but I thought it was kind of an odd contrast with the smoke. But in general, I thought this beer was really drinkable, very enjoyable. Could use to get rid of that little bit of acetaldehyde and get a better head on it. But I thought it was pretty nice. I gave it a 36. I think it was a really good beer.
Yeah, I agree. I would pay for this beer.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. Well, no, not legally.
I'll sell you this bottle.
Not legally.
Yeah.
We can make. You can pay anyways. There are other ways of paying.
That's true.
We can make you pay, JP.
Oh, trust me. I have a girlfriend. I'm all too familiar with that. Chris, well, this is a good beer, man. Do you have any questions for the guys on this thing?
No, I was just looking for some good feedback. I mean, that head retention thing is good. I didn't really notice that too much, but I tapped right off I bottled it right off the picnic tap with a little tube, so that might have something to do with
it. Might have dropped a little carbonation going into the bottle, yeah.
Yeah, you got to, bump the carbonation up a bit and then slam it down real hard.
Yeah, it
something like that. There's a trick to
taste
doing
like
that.
The carbonation is that low, but it might be a little low.
Chill the bottles and keep it in there.
So you think the lack of the head is more just proteins in the beer?
Well, I don't know for sure. I mean, did you do a protein rest on this? Or
No, it was just a single infusion mash at about 150, 147-ish.
That would explain the light, dry body on it, too. That's pretty low mash temp.
Should you bump it up a bit? 52 or something?
I kind of like it dry, honestly.
It's nice as it is. I would almost rash it back to smoke a notch, but that's a matter of preference, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's bad where it's at. I mean, I really like the sort of the balance. I really like the smoke delivery in this. It's very nice and clean.
Yeah, me too.
It just, to me, it can maybe use just a touch more malt to balance it out. But
okay. So
I really like it as it is, though.
Tell us about your lagering profile, Chris.
My lagering refrigerator at the lowest setting, number one there, it'll go down to 38, and that's, I think Bock lager yeast said it was minimum temperature was 39, so 30. I got 1 degree higher than the minimum temperature. Sorry.
You know what, Chris? We could taste that. God damn it.
I know. I could too.
For your primary fermentation, though, or was that for lagering?
Yeah, that was primary fermentation for a month.
Wow. So you fermented it that cold. Wow. How long did it take to ferment out?
It was about a month, and then I set it out for like 3 days for the diacetyl rest or whatever. I did the same with the other one. There was this whole side-by-side thing.
Yeah. Hey, you've had good luck for a first lager. This is really good. Nice job.
Super. Awesome.
Yeah, that's actually pretty damn good.
What kind of hops did you use in it?
There's Celia hops. There's supposed to be a mix between Savinci Golding, Aurora, and Slovenian wild hops, similar to Saz.
Okay. So going for kind of a noble hop presentation.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's no Northern Brewer then.
Hop I had around.
What's your recipe for this, Chris? Can you go over that?
Oh yeah, it's let's see, 31% Munich, about 30% Vienna, 25% Rauch malt, and 3 pounds of Golden Promise because I needed more gravity and everything else around.
Yeah. It looks like you got up to about 10:55 starting.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got all the details on the bottle here, too. I like the hello.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hello, my name is Smoked Lager.
That's a long name you got.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you
know. Any questions? Any other questions, Chris?
No, you guys pretty much covered it. I guess I could add some crystal malt to the recipe to help bump up on that head retention. Maybe some Munich or something.
Yeah, you know, like that would work, but I wouldn't add crystal malt. It's really the wrong kind of flavor. Maybe some Cara Red, one of the German varieties, might work a little better.
Right.
Or just a slightly higher mash temp would probably leave a little more higher sugars to help with that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, some people say wheat malt. I mean, you could try it.
Wheat would definitely work. It might change the flavor profile in a different direction.
Carapils or Carafoam or something like that?
Yeah. The Carafoam would probably work very well for this sort of thing. Definitely add some more head and a little bit more body to it.
I'm surprised that somebody in the brewing world hasn't invented a product where you just like squirt a little bit of this into your beer and it instantly creates like the beer with the perfect head. You know?
Yeah. Have you guys seen? Have you guys seen that new thing where it's like it's basically like an espresso machine, but you put hops in the portafilter, which is that little thing that you put the grinds in, and you pull your beer through that. And so it's like a Randall, but it's an
espresso Randall.
Essentially, yeah. They could do that with foam, a little agitator or something. Oxidize the hell out of that.
Little hop shots.
Yeah.
That comes out at like I don't know, like a few psi too. So I don't know what that would do.
I told him, I was like, hey, if you guys need some U.S. testers, it's a U.K. product, which is weird that the U.K. folks are trying to get more dry hop character. I don't know. Maybe it's not weird. All right, Chris.
It's probably not weird.
Well, hang on a sec, man. We're going to go to a break, and then when we come back,
we're going to talk to Chris.
We're going to talk to someone who sounds just like you and brewed a beer just like this, but with
in the same zip code, even
peach with yeast cultivated from peaches.
That's right.
Yeah. So I can't wait to figure out more about this. Hang on tight. We'll catch you after the jump. All right, Chris?
Sounds good.
All right, man. Hang on a sec. Good beer. I liked it.
Yeah, nice and clear, too.
I love smoke beers.
Brilliant.
Good job lagering.
Such a pretty beer.
Yeah, I forgot to ask him about filtering and all that kind of stuff.
I think he just lagered he fermented it so cold and lagered
it out
for so long that it just got clear.
And then he filtered it, and then he cursed the particulates until they dropped out.
He screamed at him.
Right.
Yeah.
Get out of my beer!
We're going to take a break, come back, still talking with Chris and his outstanding smoked beer, some Rauchbier, right? Some, what is it, Rauchbier?
Rauchbier.
All right. Dr. Home, everyone.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5 Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5 Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5 Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5 Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5 Star treatment today.
As a brewer, you already don't settle for second best. You want great tasting beer and you want great equipment to make it with. So don't settle for the second best grain mill. You want a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Monster Mills are tough, come in 2 and 3 roller designs, and are made right here in the USA from superior materials for longer lasting performance. Pick the mill that's right for you at monsterbrewinghardware.com and take Bevo's advice.
Trust me, it's always better to have a bigger tool than you think you need.
Monster Mills have the best warranty in the business. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit monsterbrewinghardware.com now and check out all the mills and mill accessories. Don't settle for second best. Get a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware.
Starting a brewery is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely a labor of love. If you're not going to give it 100%, don't bother.
Brewers Publications is proud to present the Brewers Association Guide to Starting Your Own Brewery by Elysian Brewing's Dick Cantwell. Business plans, financing, sustainability, and more. This book takes you through the planning and execution needed to turn the dream of craft brewing into a reality. Whether you want to open a brew pub or a packaging brewery, learn the professional side of ingredients, wastewater, quality, and how to build the craft brewery of the future. The Brewers Association Guide to Starting Your Own Brewery, available now from Brewers Publications and brewerspublications.com. Are you a member of the American Homebrewers Association? Well, you should be. Members of the AHA can focus on brewing beer, and the AHA takes care of the rest. The American Homebrewers Association advocates on behalf of homebrewers like you to legalize the hobby in all 50 states and make sure that beer laws make sense. Plus, there are many great benefits that come with your AHA membership, like pub discounts that give you awesome deals at bars, restaurants, breweries, and more. Zymergy Magazine and eZymergy for tons of articles, how-tos, easy-to-follow recipes, and news about the hobby you love. And access to the members-only content on homebrewersassociation.org. But the AHA can't do it without your support. Join today so the American Homebrewers Association can keep fighting for your home brewing rights. Visit homebrewersassociation.org or join right now from the homepage of the Brewing Network website. Relax. Don't worry. It's the American Homebrewers Association.
Have you ever dreamed of attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lallemand and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lallemand and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2015 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition to the 2015 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology worth almost $4,000. From now until December 13th, 2014, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries in to the Danstar 2015 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your home brewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Danstar and Lallemand Premium Brewing Yeast, and enter to win.
And now to the finale of Dr. Homebrew.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. We have Chris
love
on the
that
line
apocalyptic break, too.
It is pretty good, yeah. What's up, buddy?
Not too much. Still hanging on, you know.
Well, you know, life's tough all over, man, but I'm hanging on. You sound
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you about your filtering, dude. These beers are crystal. You can read through these things. They're crystal clear.
No filtration at all. They're about, I brewed them in, maybe July, I believe. August, September, October. Yeah, so just natural time and temperature, man.
So they started out cloudier than this when you were first drinking them? They had a little bit of haze?
Chris?
What's that now? I'm sorry.
Oh, he was asking if they started out a little bit more cloudy, but you just let them go. Until
A little bit. I mean, they were a little bit cloudier, but not too a whole bunch.
Okay.
The wild one was actually quite a bit more cloudy, but
I can see that. I mean,
all fell out with time.
This is super clear as well. We're talking about the cloudy one now, but I guess I can understand. You have a wild yeast. So tell me about this yeast before we get into the beer. Why did you do this? How did you do this? Take us through the process.
Right about the time I started homebrewing, the local homebrew shop had Charlie Papazian's Joy of Homebrewing, and it said you can get wild yeast from anywhere. And, started listing off some fruits, and I was like, oh, well, shit. I got a peach tree in the backyard. Let's see what I can catch.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be something pretty good, I guess.
Now, so what did you do? How did you actually accomplish this?
I went outside, and because I don't really care for the taste of peaches, I took a peach and threw it in a little jar of wort that I had until I saw like one or two bubbles, and then with a sanitized fork, poked it out of there, and just grew it up from, I guess, just the skin on the outside of the peach.
Huh. Was that in Charlie P's book, or is that something you just were like, that'll work too?
No, as far I did a little bit of research as far as like how after he said you can catch it from anywhere, I did a little bit of extra research on how to go about catching it, and they said it's usually on the skin of fruits, so I just grabbed one and threw it in, and I was hoping to get something fairly interesting, but not, actually I was hoping not to get anything sour, which is pretty nice because there's no pellicle or anything, even at higher temperatures,
Yeah, that's we were remarking during the break how clean of a wild yeast it is. There is nothing super funky and off and
yeah. I mean, sometimes
bizarre.
they'll have like phenolic characters and clove-like stuff going on or whatever.
Yeah,
Goldfish
that's my
swimming
house
around.
culture. I usually pitch. I do 10-gallon batches and do one with my peach yeast there, and then one with pro yeast or whatever, sort of like this. But I do one with like Belgian yeast or English yeast or whatever.
What
ESB.
What I noticed that the fruit beer, or not the fruit beer, the wild yeast beer is a little bit darker than the original beer, right? But they're the same wort. You didn't.
Everything's exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that me, or are you guys getting that too? Is a little? It seems like the wild yeast beer is a little bit darker by a couple SRM, I think.
I think that's you.
There's more beer
They look
in the
the
glass.
same to me.
Is that what it is? It's just the beer level?
There's more beer in the glass.
Well, what do you guys know?
We know that much.
You don't know.
They're smart. See?
Chris, you don't know anything.
JP.
Come on. I know everything.
JP,
What?
you're cornered. Give it up.
I am no one puts JP in a corner. No one.
You sat down in the corner.
I did. You're right. Okay, well let's talk about this beer now. We're not going to get, Chris, just so you know, we're not going to get super detailed like we did with the previous beer. Just kind of how the yeast is different from between beer to beer, really. Lee, go ahead. What do you think? I'll make you start.
Well, so not being a clean culture traditional lager yeast, this yeast is definitely providing flavor to the beer that was not there in the one that you did with the Bock yeast.
Right.
So it comes across very differently than that. I would say the smoke character has pretty much seems to have been overridden in this beer. We're not getting nearly as much as that. I mean, there's some there, but it's not a dominant thing here.
It's like more of the darker smoke flavors, like the more I don't know. caramel, kind of darker, not burnt sugar.
The base
but like,
malt flavors come through more. Yeah, a little bit of a sugary thing, but the smoke, there's just a little bit of smoke left.
Yeah.
And whether that got volatilized off or somehow the yeast ate those flavors or something else, Lord knows what, I don't know. But the smoke character is a lot less in this beer. There's a lot of ester character in this beer, which you'd probably expect from wild yeast.
Right.
And to me, it comes across kind of like bruised peaches, which I'm actually, unfortunately, not that big a fan of. It's not like a clean peach flavor. It tastes kind of like a bruised fruit. And that's actually a pretty dominant flavor here. Mm-hmm. There's none of the sourness or nastiness you'd expect from a wild ferment, or that you might get from a wild ferment.
Which was very impressive to me. Mm-hmm. And that we were kind of remarking about that during the break. There's none of that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not getting much phenolics. There may be a little bit of a vegetal character here, I think, but not that bad. But mostly it's just there's this big ester character that comes across to me kind of like a bruised peach. And I'm not really a fan of that. I think I like the clean yeast beer better. But given that you just got this by dunking a peach into some wort, basically, this is actually not that bad. I can imagine all sorts of horrid things they wouldn't want to be in the same room with coming off of that.
I would be afraid, Chris, which is a compliment to the grapes on you, or the peaches, I should say. I would never experiment with a lager with just some wild yeast I happen to pull off my peach tree. Which, never mind the fact that you don't like peaches and you have a peach tree, but you know what I mean. Like I would never do that. It's so much work and time to. But that's why I don't really brew a lot, I guess, because it's just I don't know. I wouldn't do that. But kudos to you because it came out pretty good.
Thank you. I just noticed it never stopped fermenting. I would like the research I said most of the yeast growth was done in the first 48 hours or so, and then you could cold crash it for about 48 hours and then try and feed it again. So I'd pour off half the wort and refill again with half the wort and set it back out for, another 2 days or so to warm back up, and fermentation would start again, and I'd go crash it back in the fridge, and I guess it just trained it to do cold and hot. I don't know how that works, but I guess.
They're wild, man. You tamed them.
Yeah, I guess.
So it seems like most of the fermentation took place at warmer temperatures with this. You said you brought it out and it would take off a little bit, and then
sense.
Because it's not a log. It might not be a lager yeast. It's probably gonna. I would guess that a wild yeast like this would be more active at warmer temperatures since it comes from a place of warmer temperatures. It's a Georgia peach, right?
I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Oh, Brian, he's going to come out here and kill you now.
The 6-pack said Atlanta, Georgia, that you sent this stuff in. Sweetwater Brew.
Asheville-ish.
Oh, okay.
But, it was, it seemed to have a pretty good corral. It seemed to go pretty good in the fridge next to the other lager. I mean, it seemed to go just as good.
So it was moving there, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just chugging along.
Cool.
Was the lag time different?
They were actually almost about the same. It might have had a little bit more lag time, but I figured that's just because it was a wild yeast.
Because I wonder how a wild yeast would do in lager temperatures.
Oh, dude, it rocked it right on out. Like I said, side by side, about the same amount of time, no extra anything else. I just blow off tube into a container.
This guy's fearless, man.
He's like the yeast whisperer.
Yeah, he's just like, whatever. I'll do it. It was great. It was fine.
Yeah. I mean, why not? I did a bunch of ale cultures with it, just for fun around the house. Like I said, I did a bunch of side-by-side testing with English ale yeast and this one and an ESB and another couple Belgian ones.
If you want to refine it, if you like it, Dave at Flattail has cultured some Brett from some plums in Corvallis, Oregon. He's in Oregon, so you might reach out to those weirdos and see how. Because I know he worked on it a bit. I think he did something similar to you, and then he refined it somehow, and that's his house Brett yeast. So
did he actually streak them out?
Oh,
I
also have some house Brett yeast. It's just flies through the air and lands willy-nilly on almost anything I'm not too careful with.
Yeah.
If there's an open window at all or the slightest draft through the house and I open anything up, it's getting infected.
You know, that's a lot of people don't understand about yeast and stuff. Push, our good friend Push Eject, he was making yeast starters in the same kitchen that his wife was doing sourdough beer starters. After a couple of years, his starters started and his beer started to kind of taste like sourdough beer, and I was like, this is kind of sourdoughy, man. And we finally figured it out. Togetherness happened, and so now he does it. He pitches into a starter in another room because there's a lot of them. Yeast is definitely everywhere, and that's part of the reason I think we encourage yeast starters and clean pitching and stuff, because you want the good stuff to get in there before the bad stuff happens. So
outcompete it.
Yeah, that's weird, man. So you're just kind of home culturing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I opened up a fermenter or two when I was doing it in buckets, and I guess the fan was going behind me and I didn't notice or something. I don't know, but it was all done fermenting. I went to go take my final gravity reading, and the next day when I went to go bottle, or the day after, they had a pellicle on top.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's pretty quick around here, apparently. Lots of Brett, but apparently none on the peaches. So I lucked out on that one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It has this it does have a peachy kind of flavor to it.
It really does, right?
And orangey and juicy fruit. Very estery, though. Definitely
I think Lee hit it on the head when he said bruised peaches. That's exactly what I tasted too.
Yeah, it's not the bright fruit that like the super fresh tasting. It's a little staler tasting, but it still tastes pretty good.
Like a cranberry wit with this beer that's about a year old. Come Thanksgiving, that is super good.
That would sound great. But see, so how many generations are you pulling off this yeast? Are you banking it? Are you letting it kind of change and see what happens, or what are you doing?
Are you dunking a fresh peach every time?
Sort of just washing it and repitching it into the next batch.
How many iterations of this have you done? Like how many times have you pitched it?
I couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
So many.
Yeah.
So many.
Cranberry, that would sound good. And now that is the flavor profile consistent from batch to batch, or do you find it changing?
It stays pretty much the same.
Okay. That's great, because now that you know the flavor profile of your, essentially what is your house yeast or whatever, you can do all sorts of weird shit with it.
It's like decide what beer style is going to taste the best with this yeast profile.
Yeah.
I think that cranberry beer does sound interesting with that. I don't know that the smoke is not coming through as well with this as it does with the lager
smoke
yeast.
For sure.
It's not making the greatest smoke beer, although the beer tastes good. It's not coming across as like super smoky when you taste it right next to the Rauchbier. It's so different. It's quite.
I wonder if you put peach
striking
juice into it.
Yeah,
put a little peach juice into it. Although maybe
I thought they were pretty good blended at like half and half.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Have you done this already?
Did I do? Yeah, I did that.
Chris, yeah. Why not? Why wouldn't I? I took it to the moon last time I was there too.
I have two kegs sitting right next to each other. Why not? Right?
Yeah, I like blending beers too. It's kind of fun. Sometimes a little bit of this with some of that. Why not?
Well, that's cool, Chris. It's definitely something we haven't talked about on the show before. So I really appreciate you sending in 2 beers, or 6 beers rather, but
it was
2
my
different
pleasure.
types. Yeah, awesome, man. And I don't know if you have any questions for the guys, or if they have any questions for you, or how that's working on this thing. But
I think I pretty much covered it. Unless you guys got any questions.
No, I think everyone's good here.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Great beers. Anytime you want to send me another beer, man, let me know.
Hey, if I can scrape up 3 bottles of that cranberry wit, I'll send it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, man. If we're just going to try it on the show, just to comment on, we probably only need 1 bottle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We would do that for you.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
Okay.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Chris and his fucking weird beer, man. It's really good. Both were really good.
Both are really good. Yeah, the Rauchbier is like pretty much in the territory of classic Rauchbier.
I really like that.
And you use
Rauchbier.
that wild yeast, and it's a totally different animal. And buries the smoke, gives it this funky, fruity thing, but not like funky, like Brett-like or sour. I would just never have done it.
It's just bruised peaches.
But yeah, so that's what it's trying to get at. It's like, how do you refine that? Can you refine that flavor? This would be where I would want to talk to a yeast person. You know what I mean? Can you get that same kind of peach essence? Which, first of all, is weird that because it came from and so the plum beer that I was talking about at Flat Tail, it friggin' tastes like plums. It tastes like plums. And so what is that? That's weird, first of all. But how do you refine it? How do you get it to not taste like bruised peaches? Or is that what makes bruised peaches taste like bruised peaches? When they bruise, it breaks the skin, and then that yeast comes in and kind of eats those sugars. I don't know.
No idea.
That's probably part of it. Yeah, I haven't studied. I do actually have
God damn it, Brian. Study.
I haven't studied.
You're going to fail.
I didn't know there was going to be a test about peach yeast on this show.
There's always a test somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Well, I thought they were two amazing beers.
Pretty
and
cool.
Chris, you automatically win.
Yeah, who wins?
The Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. $40 gift certificate. $40 to grogtag.com. Check them out. They have wrapping paper, custom wrapping paper, which is like 70 weight paper for you paper weirdos out there. Not like that super thin normal Christmas paper. And it's all customizable. They have bottles and bottle caps and signs and coasters and wine labels and mini tags and all this kind of stuff. So check them out. Fully customizable, grogtag.com. I want to thank our sponsor, 5-Star. You can go to 5starchemicals.com. Check out how to properly sanitize and do all the kind of things that you need to do to make good beer like Chris, which, kudos to him for not just opening his fermenter and going, oh, I'm going to catch some wild yeast. He actually did some research.
He dunked a peach.
I could dunk a peach for hours. I liked it. They were very good beers. Okay, we're going to take off. We're going to drink the rest of these beers. Before we split, I want to tell you about Brewing with Style. Jamil hosts that show. A couple, with a couple others as well. But if you're interested in a lot more beer talk, and this may be the first introduction that you have to the Brewing Network, check out Brewing with Style. You can find them on iTunes. You can find them on our website, brewingnetwork.com. And if you're kind of into that super nerd talk like we are around here, Brewing with Style is a pretty good. It's a second to Dr. Homebrew. I'm not gonna, come on. We're like, we get like 12 downloads a month. We're awesome. And no one can hold a candle to Dr. Homebrew the way we talk about beer, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Beer, good.
The duct tape is holding, and I should leave before they are able to escape. Anyway,
if we rip it off right now, we'll scream.
Right. All right, thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. It's been Dr. Homebrew. I'm JP with your co-hosts Brian and Lee, and of course the lovely Beverly, freezing in the little booth that we keep her in. Look at her, freezing to death. You can start in Frozen. The snuff. I don't know. All right, everyone. Until the next time, it's been Dr. Homebrew. Take it easy.